How you doing, YouTube? Now with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. Had to start this one over. Kind of butchered the intro to the last one to the point where I just needed to cleanse myself of the craptasticness. So, hasn't been open yet, so it was just a lead-in, so I'm not one of those people. And yeah, we got a little bit of new beer, hopeful goodness, in the form of Mighty Squirrel Brewing. It's their Cloud Candy, a double dry hop New England style IPA. Comes courtesy of Josh. Thank you very much, brother. He is a viewer who sent me off a big box of mass beers. A little bit of stuff outside of that area, too. So I'm very appreciative, especially because, one, people send you beer that's pretty awesome. Two, beer I've never had before from breweries I've never heard of before. So, yeah. Thank you very much, brother. So, yeah, back to the label. Cloud Candy, a double dry hop New England style IPA. It says here, bundled in each can are a few of our favorite things. Friendship, sports, entrepreneurship. I know I'm butchering that word. That's the one I butchered last time. It got me peeved at this, but we're going to keep going for it. It says innovation and fun. I hope you enjoy the Mighty Squirrel and have many mighty moments to celebrate. It says cheers Naveen and looks like Henry. I assume they're the owners and brewers. Citra, Mosaic, and Amarillo. And on the bottom we have, it's just under a month old. Actually, no. Yeah, just under a month old. And 6.5%. Label-wise, I dig it. I like the kind of powder blue on the white. It's kind of hard to read, but I dig it nonetheless. So there we go. The mood. Boop, 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 boo. Yeah, so a little bit of mass beer, stuff I've never heard of. I assume it's going to be local stuff, but it could be somewhere outside of his area or shelfy stuff. Who knows? Let's just hope it's good beer. Pinky Finger. Just soft white, maybe close to khaki. Nice pillowy creaminess. And yeah, she's got that haze down. Not the haziest beer in the history of mankind. You can kind of see there's a little dimple in here. You can kind of see through it a bit. So it's got the haze, but not the uber haze. You know that uber haze, it'll get you. Let's see what she smells like. She smells pretty damn nice. She smells like an old school, new schooler. Like, kind of like in that, you know, heady range and that kind of sip of sunshine range. Those kind of beers that kind of led the way back before the super haze. It smells a little bit more like those than the new school stuff, in the sense that it does have a nice kind of bitterness to it, albeit generic, a nice bitterness to it, and a nice kind of fruitiness to it that is not generic, but more kind of hodgepodgey, kind of a mixture of everything going on. Your tropical fruits, stone fruits, kind of juicy citrusiness, all that stuff across the board. And that bitterness is definitely probably a little bit more leaning green now that I took a couple bigger huffs on it, and that kind of makes me happy. Nice sweetness to it, nice bitterness. I'm gonna dive right in. Cheers. Yeah, I like that. I like that. It has this kind of green component. It's kind of tomato stocky greeny, but then it has a little bit of like a piney candiness to it. Like the hops are almost like a candy pininess. The fruit is still like a medley kind of thing going on. There's a slight bit of diacetyl, a little bit of butter going on there, but definitely overlookable, because that's a word. Really nice mouthfeel to it. I just like the way the sweetness not just pairs or blends or whatever you want. Blends, that's the word I'm going to use. But kind of bounces off each other and balances each other. The sweetness isn't too sweet. And the bitterness isn't too bitter, but there's a bit of kind of sharpness to the bitterness in both that bittering way and that candied way. When I talk about candy, it's like a pine with a kind of sweetness to it. Then you have that kind of tomato stocky graininess. It's like a couple different versions of sweet and a couple different versions of bitter. They all kind of work together. This is a really fun beer, actually. I really dig this. It tastes a lot like some of the West Coast IPAs that I get when I try to make East Coast IPAs, because it has that kind of piney resonance thing going on, but it has that old school New England heady style, old school haziness thing going on. So it's like a weird kind of mashup of both kind of influences, and I dig it. It just works for me. I'm really a big fan of that kind of marriage of a bit of West Coast, a bit of East Coast married into that old school New England style. I think I dig it. yeah, I could definitely see whoever opened this brewery, whoever they are, kind of either loving the old school West Coast IPAs or spending some time brewing out that way or whatnot. But yeah, super tasty stuff. I dig it quite a bit. Other than that, nice mouthfeel. Super drinkable, like infinitely drinkable. It's just tasty stuff. Good stuff. Good for you. Mighty Squirrel. On my radar now. Yeah, so that's it. Let's talk about it. Is this one of the better IPAs that I've had? Like, actually, yeah, I dig it. It works for me. The way the hops play, that I'm getting a heat and help and bitterness, but it has enough sweetness to balance it off. That sweetness and the bitterness has multi-layers to it. It just works. That candy pine thing I'm always a sucker for, the tomato stocky green thing. So it's giving me a lot of what I love. It's not just that they're there and they make sense. Value and availability, no idea. Josh sent this along, so maybe he can chime in. This is somebody out there who knows what they are as far as price point and availability, and leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you pretty much like what I said, which was those kind of West Coast influenced, or West Coast beers that are trying to be East Coast beers, but bring that kind of New England thing into the fray. Who did I have like that recently? It's been a couple, I can't remember, but it's giving you the best of all of those influences. Your East, your West, your Northeast, New England style, all kind of working together to come up with a pretty cohesive and pretty fun freaking beer. I dig it. I like it. If you like the beers I like, chances are you like this. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there, if you want to talk about it, type in Google, type Massive Beers in there. You see me doing all kinds of stuff in the social medias. Type in Beer Massive, M-A-S-S-I-F, into the Google, and you'll find me doing podcast stuff, brewer interviews, all that fun stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice hazy New England, West Coast, East Coast IPA right now, and hope to see you next time. Cheers.